Everyone keeps telling you that you have a discipline problem. You don't. You have a dopamine problem, and almost nobody explains it to you properly. This week, I broke it down into 4 pieces. Today, I'm putting them together into one complete system, the system that quietly turns an ordinary person into someone who builds wealth, almost on autopilot. No willpower, no 5 a.m., cold plunges, no motivation required. Just an honest understanding of the one chemical that's secretly running your life and how to put it back on your side. Let's get into it. Start with the problem, because if you don't understand this, nothing else will stick. Your brain is wired to keep you broke, not because it hates you, but because of how it was built. Almost every action you take is, on some level, a bid for dopamine, the molecule of wanting. And here is the design flaw. Dopamine evolved for a world of scarcity, where the smart move was to grab the easy reward right now, because tomorrow was not guaranteed, so your brain is biased hard toward whatever pays out fastest. The scroll, the snack, the swipe of the card, each one delivers an instant little hit. Meanwhile, everything that actually builds a life, saving money, training your body, learning a hard skill, pays out slowly, sometimes years later. So in any given moment, your brain quietly votes for the cheap, fast reward and against your future self. That is not a character flaw. That is biology. But here is the good news, and it is the whole reason this channel exists. Once you can see the game, you can change the rules. You are not stuck with the wiring you were handed. You can reset it, redirect it, and eventually point that same craving at the things that make you money, health, and freedom. Which brings us to the first move. Before you can build anything, you have to reset the system. People call it a dopamine detox, and most of them get it completely wrong. They think it means sitting in a dark room doing nothing for a weekend. No phone, no food they enjoy, no fun. That is not a detox. That is a punishment, and it does not work, because the second it ends, you binge harder than before. A real reset is not about quitting pleasure. It is about resetting what your brain says yes to. Right now, the cheapest, easiest hits are winning, and the slow, valuable things cannot compete. So for 1 week, you turn the volume down on the supernormal stuff, the endless scrolling, the sugar, the constant doom clicking. Not forever. Just long enough for your brain to feel boredom again, because boredom is the doorway that discipline walks through. Then you do the most important part, the part everyone skips. You replace. You do not just remove. Every time you reach for the phone out of habit, you do 10 push-ups, or you read 1 page, or you step outside for 60 seconds. You are teaching your brain a new lesson. That reward can come from effort, not just from a screen. After about a week of this, something quietly shifts. The slow things, reading, training, building, start to feel good again. That is a reset brain, and a reset brain is the soil everything else grows in. Now we get to the move that changes everything, because resetting is not enough. If you just remove the cheap dopamine and put nothing in its place, you will drift right back. The real skill, the one that separates the people who build wealth from the people who only talk about it, is this: they get addicted to the work itself. And no, they were not born that way. They hijack the exact same dopamine loop that makes your phone addictive, and they pointed it at their goals. You can do the same thing on purpose, and here is how. First, shrink the start. Addiction needs an easy on-ramp. So you never commit to an hour, you commit to 2 minutes. The hardest part of any worthwhile thing is the first rep, so you make the first rep tiny. You are not trying to finish, you are only trying to start. Second, you make progress visible, because dopamine loves a number going up. You check the box, you mark the X, you watch the streak grow. When you can literally see yourself winning, your brain starts to crave the next win, the same way it once craved the next notification. Third, You reward the effort, not just the far-off result. You do not wait for the payoff that is months away. You celebrate showing up today, a small private win after a hard session, which tells your brain, do that again. And fourth, you stack the work onto something you already crave. You only listen to that one podcast while you train. You only drink the good coffee while you do the deep work. Slowly, your brain links the pleasure to the effort until the effort itself starts to feel like the reward. Do this for a few weeks, and the gym, the work, the saving, they stop feeling like punishment and start feeling like the hit you look forward to. That is the moment you stop chasing motivation, because you have become addicted to becoming. But intention is fragile, and willpower runs out by the afternoon. So the final layer, the one that makes all of this survive a bad day, is design. You stop relying on motivation and you start engineering your environment so the right choice becomes the easy choice. There is a rule that quietly decides whether you are disciplined or not. Researchers found that if a good habit is just 20 seconds harder to start, you probably will not do it. And if a bad habit is 20 seconds harder to reach, you probably will not do that either. Your discipline is not really about willpower, it is about friction. So you use it deliberately. Rule 1. Make the good thing easier to start. Lay the gym clothes out the night before. Put the book on your pillow. Fill the water bottle in advance. You are deleting the friction that kills the habit before it begins. Rule 2. Make the bad thing harder. Log out of the app. Leave the phone in another room while you work. Unplug the temptation, literally, if you have to. You do not need willpower if the distraction takes real effort to reach. Rule 3. Shrink every task to 2 minutes. Do not go to the gym. Just put on the shoes. Do not write the report. Just open the document and type one line. Starting is the entire battle, and 2 minutes is too small for your brain to dread. And Rule 4. Never break the promise twice. Miss a day, fine, life happens. But 2 misses in a row is how you quietly start a brand new habit, the wrong one. Show up for 2 minutes even on your worst day, and the identity stays alive. Now step back and look at what we have actually built, because the pieces matter less than the order. First, you understood the enemy, that your brain is biased toward fast, cheap rewards and against your future. Then you reset the system, turning down the supernormal noise until the quiet, valuable things could be heard again. Then you redirected the craving, getting addicted to the work instead of the distraction. And finally, you protected the whole thing with design, so it no longer depends on how you feel. Here is why this matters so much more than another budgeting tip or morning routine. Discipline is not many separate skills. It is one skill, and it spills into everything. The same reset that stops you doom scrolling is the reset that stops the impulse spending. The same craving you build for the gym is the craving you build for checking your accounts and investing on time. The same friction trick that protects your focus protects your money. You are not fixing one habit, you are upgrading the operating system that runs all of them. And that is exactly why wealth shows up as a side effect. When your dopamine is pointed at building instead of consuming, saving stops feeling like deprivation and starts feeling like winning. Investing becomes a streak you do not want to break. Learning the skill that doubles your income becomes the thing you crave at the end of the day. You are not chasing money directly. You are becoming the kind of person money naturally accumulates around. Picture 90 days of this. Not a dramatic transformation, just small, disciplined actions stacked day after day by a brain that finally wants them. The scrolling has quietly faded. The savings account has a number in it that surprises you. Your body feels different, your focus feels sharper, and the constant low anxiety of being out of control has been replaced by something calmer. Nothing heroic happened. The system just ran whether you felt like it or not, because you built it to. So here is your starting point today, not someday. Pick one cheap dopamine hit you will turn down this week, and pick one hard thing you will make 2 minutes easier to start. That is it. That is the entire beginning, and it is smaller than you think. You do not need to overhaul your life by Sunday. You just need to give your brain one piece of proof that the slow reward is worth waiting for. If you want the complete system, every step, the full reset protocol, the habit and money rules, and the 90-day plan all in one place, I put it together in the Discipline to Wealth Playbook. It is the full version of everything this video could only summarize, and the link is in the description. And if you are not ready to buy anything, that is completely fine. Grab the free 7-day discipline reset instead, one tiny action a day, and just start moving. Either way, please do not let this be another video you watched, nodded along to, and forgot by tomorrow. That is the cheap dopamine talking. Pick one thing, do it today, and let your own brain start working for your future instead of against it. If this helped, subscribe to Discipline to Wealth, because that is where the entire system lives, and I will see you in the next one.